The 35th Infantry Regiment, Cacti, was created on 1 July 1916 at Douglas, Arizona from elements of the 11th, 18th and 22nd Infantry Regiments. The 35th served on the Mexico-U.S. border during the First World War and was stationed at Nogales, Arizona in 1918. It fought a border skirmish on 27 August 1918 during the Battle of Ambos Nogales. In World War II, Korea, and Vietnam it served as part of the 25th Infantry Tropic Lighting Division. As of 2012, the only active element of the regiment is the 2nd Battalion, which is assigned to the 3rd Brigade Combat Team. Infantry, 25th Infantry Division. Heraldry. The regiment's coat of arms and its distinctive unit insignia reflect its history. The regiment was originally formed in Arizona from elements of the 11th, 18th, and 22nd Infantry Regiments. These organizations are represented on the canton of the crest. In the upper left-hand corner, the white Maltese cross represents the 11th Regiment. The red acorn represents the 18th Regiment. And the embattled partition line of the canton represents the 22nd Regiment. The cactus represents the original service along the Mexico-U.S. border against the bandits of Pancho Villa. Distinctive unit insignia. The following is a direct quote from the U.S. Army, the Institute of Heraldry, regarding the 35th Regiment. Description: blazon. A gold-color metal and enamel device 1 1/16 inches. 2.70 centimeters in height overall, consisting of a shield blazoned argent, a giant cactus vert, on a canton embattled. For the 22d Infantry, azure, a cross-pateye of the field. For the 11th Infantry, charged with an acorn gules. For the 18th Infantry, symbolism. This regiment was originally organized in Arizona with personnel from the 11th, 18th and 22d Infantry. These organizations are shown on the canton. During the Civil War, the predecessor of the 11th Infantry was in the 2D Division, 5th Corps, the badge of which was a white Maltese cross. The 18th Infantry was in the 1st Division, 14th Corps, with a red acorn as the badge. The 22d Infantry is represented by the embattled partition line of the canton. The cactus represents the original service of the 35th Infantry on the Mexico-U.S. border. Background: the distinctive unit insignia was originally approved on 28 June 1923. It was amended to change the method of wear on 30 April 1926. Coat of arms. The following is a direct quote from the U.S. Army, the Institute of Heraldry, regarding the 35th Regiment. Description: blazon shield, argent, a giant cactus vert, on a canton embattled. For the 22d Infantry, azure, a cross-pateye of the field. For the 11th Infantry, charged with an acorn gules. For the 18th Infantry, crest, on a wreath of the colors, argent and vert, a walnut tree proper. Motto: take arms. Symbolism: shield. This regiment was organized at Douglas, Arizona, in July 1916 from the 11th, 18th and 22d Regiments of Infantry. These organizations are shown on a canton. In the Civil War, the predecessor of the 11th Infantry was in the 2D Division, 5th Corps, the badge of which was a white Maltese cross. The 18th Infantry was in the 1st Division, 14th Army Corps, with a red acorn as the badge. The 22d Infantry was originally the 2D Battalion, 13th Infantry, and as such distinguished itself at the Siege of Vicksburg, receiving the name First at Vicksburg. Quote: this is shown by the embattled partition line of the canton. The cactus represents the original border service of the 35th Infantry. Crest. The crest commemorates the baptism of fire of the regiment at Nogales, the Spanish for walnut trees. Background: the coat of arms was approved on 9 April 1920. Motto. The regimental motto is, "Take arms." During the Battle of Ambos Nogales in 1918, when the alarm went out, officers, non-commissioned officers and soldiers shouted out, "Take arms! Take arms!" Quote, mission. The current mission statement of the regiment is the same as that of the 25th Infantry. On order, 25th ID redeploys, resets, and deploys trained forces to contingencies and operations worldwide to accomplish all assigned tasks in support of a designated Joint Force Commander. World War I. The 35th Infantry Regiment was stationed at Nogales, Arizona on the 27th of August 1918, when at about 4:10 p.m., a gun battle erupted unintentionally when a Mexican civilian attempted to pass through the border, back to Mexico, without being interrogated at the U.S. Customs House. After the initial shooting, reinforcements from both sides rushed to the borderline. Hostilities quickly escalated and several soldiers were killed and others wounded. The U.S. 35th Infantry Border Post had about 15 to 18 men and requested reinforcements from their garrison. When they arrived, they requested the Buffalo Soldiers of the 10th Cavalry. The 10th, commanded by Frederick Herman, came to their aid from their camp outside of town. After observing the situation for a few moments, Lt. Colonel Herman ordered an attack on the Mexican and German-held hilltops overlooking the border town. Defensive trenches and machine gun placements had been seen being dug there in the previous weeks. Herman wanted Americans there before Mexican reinforcements got there. Under heavy fire, the U.S. 35th Regiment infantry soldiers and dismounted 10th Cavalry troops advanced across the Mexico-U.S. border through the buildings and streets of Nogales, Sonora and up onto the nearby hilltops. This was done while other units of the 35th Regiment held the main line near the border post. About 7:45 p.m., the Mexicans waved a large white flag of surrender over their customs building. Lt. Colonel Herman observed and then ordered an immediate ceasefire. Snipers on both sides continued shooting for a little while after the ceasefire, but were eventually silenced upon orders from their superiors. World War II. The 35th Regiment was attached to the 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii. It was sent to Guadalcanal, the 25th of November 1942, to relieve Marines near Henderson Field. First elements landed near the Tenaru River, the 17th of December 1942, and entered combat the 10th of January 1943, participating in the seizure of Cochabamba and the reduction of the Mount Austin pocket in some of the bitterest fighting of the Pacific Campaign. With other units on 5 February 1943, it helped end organized enemy resistance. A period of garrison duty followed, ending the 21st of July. On that date, advance elements debarked on Munda, New Georgia. The 35th Infantry, under the Northern Landing Force, took part in the capture of Villa Lavalla, the 15th of August to the 15th of September 1943. Organized resistance on New Georgia ended the 25th of August, and the division moved to New Zealand for rest and training. Last elements arriving on the 5th of December. The 25th was transferred to New Caledonia. The 3rd of February, the 14th of March 1944. For continued training, the division landed in the San Fabian area of Luzon. The 11th of January 1945. To enter the struggle for the liberation of the Philippines. It drove across the Luzon Central Plain, meeting the enemy at Binalonan. The 17th of January, moving through the rice paddies. The 25th occupied Umingan, Lupao, and San Jose and destroyed a great part of the Japanese armor on Luzon. On the 21st of February, the division began operations in the Caraballo Mountains. It fought its way along Highway No. 5. Taking Digdug, Putlan, and Kapintalin against fierce enemy counterattacks and took Balit Pass, the 13th of May, and opened the gateway to the Cagayan Valley, the 27th of May, with the capture of Santa Fe. Until the 30th of June, when the division was relieved, it carried out mopping-up activities. On the 1st of July, the division moved to Tarlac for training, leaving for Japan. The 20th of September. At the end of the war, the 35th was involved with occupation duty in Japan. The regiment had 3 Medal of Honor recipients during World War II. William G. Fournier, Lewis R. Hall and Charles L. McGaha. Korean War. Open warfare once again flared in Asia, now the 25th Division's primary area of concern. On the 25th of June 1950, the North Korean People's Army crossed the 38th parallel on that day in an attack on the Republic of Korea, South Korea, acting under United Nations orders. The Tropic Lighting Division moved from its base in Japan to Korea between 5 to 18 July 1950. The 35th fought out of the Pusan perimeter and was part of the successful drive into North Korea in October 1950. In a sudden and unexpected reversal, however, an overwhelming number of Chinese Communist troops crossed the Yalu and pushed back United Nations forces all along the front. The 35th Regiment was forced to carry out a systematic withdrawal and ordered to take up defensive positions on the south bank of the Chongchon River the 30th of November 1950. Eventually, these lines failed. However, after a series of short withdrawals, a permanent battle line was established south of Osan. Then followed the seesaw battles that finally evolved into static warfare along the Iron Triangle. Into 1952, the 35th Regiment with the rest of the 25th Infantry Division assumed the responsibility of guarding the approaches of Seoul the 5th of May 1953. 23 days later, a heavy Chinese assault was hurled at it. The division held its ground and the assault was repulsed. The brunt of the attack was absorbed by the 14th Infantry Regiment, Golden Dragons, by successfully defending Seoul from continued attack from May to July 1953. The division earned its second Republic of Korea Presidential Unit citation. Again, negotiators moved toward peace. In July, the division again moved to reserve status at Camp Casey, where it remained through the signing of the armistice the 27th of July 1953. 14 division soldiers were awarded Medals of Honor during the Korean War, making the division one of the most decorated U.S. Army divisions of that war. The regiment remained in Korea until 1954 and returned to Hawaii from September through October of that year. After a 12-year absence, the 25th Infantry Division had finally returned home. The 35th Infantry Regiment had 3 Medal of Honor recipients in Korea: William R. Jesselyn, Billy G. Cannell and Donald R. Moyer. Vietnam. In August 1965, the 35th Regiment started the rotation into the Vietnam War, arriving in South Vietnam. The 1st and 2nd Battalions, along with the 1st Battalion, 14th Infantry Regiment and the 2nd Battalion, 9th Artillery Regiment, provided the core combat units of the 3rd Brigade, 25th Infantry Division, and were deployed to the Central Highlands at Pleiku. Final units arrived by Christmas 1965. The battalions of the regiment were heavily engaged from January 1966 until 1972 throughout the I Corps and Second Corps areas of operations, the Central Highlands and Central Coastal areas of Vietnam. In August 1967, operational control of the 2 battalions of the 35th Infantry Regiment and all of the other parts of the 3rd Brigade were transferred from the 25th Infantry Division to the 4th Infantry Division, which had deployed to the Central Highlands in late 1966. During this period, 25th Division Tropic Lightning soldiers fought in some of the toughest battles of the war. During the Tet Offensive of 1968 and the Tet 1969 attacks, Tropic Lightning soldiers were instrumental in defending Saigon. Due to its success in fending off that attack, the 25th Infantry Division spent most of 1970 more involved in the Vietnamization program than in actual combat. From May through June 1970, the 35th Regiment and the rest of the Tropic Lightning soldiers participated in the incursion operations against enemy sanctuaries located in Cambodia, seizing thousands of tons of supplies and hundreds of weapons. This operation crippled the Cambodian-based efforts against American units. Following its return from Cambodia to South Vietnam, the division resumed its place in the Vietnamization program. The war was winding down. By late December 1970, elements of the 35th Infantry were able to begin redeployment to Schofield Barracks. During the war in Vietnam, 22 Medals of Honor were awarded to Tropic Lightning soldiers. The 35th Infantry Regiment had 3 Medal of Honor recipients in Vietnam: Stephen Karapchik, Ronald Eric Ray and Kenneth E. Stumpf. Reorganization and light infantry status. After its return to Schofield Barracks, the 35th Infantry Regiment became a cadre unit due to the overall military downsizing and was part of a single brigade numbering 4,000 men. The 25th Division was reactivated in March 1972. The 35th Infantry trained for the next 8 years throughout the Pacific Theater and continued to improve its combat capabilities with troop deployment varying in size from squads, who participated in training missions with Fijian forces, to exercises as large as Team Spirit, where more than 5,000 divisional troops and 1,700 pieces of equipment were airlifted to South Korea for this annual exercise. In 1985, the 35th Infantry with the rest of the 25th Division began its reorganization from a conventional infantry division to a light infantry division. The 4 primary characteristics of this new light infantry division were to be mission flexibility, rapid deployment and combat readiness at 100% strength with a Pacific Basin orientation. The 25th Infantry Division earned the designation Light. The reorganization was completed by the 1st of October 1986. In 1988, the 35th Infantry participated in rotations at the Joint Readiness Training Center, Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. This training center provides the most realistic training available to light forces in the Army, coupled with joint, combined training exercises Cobra Gold in Thailand, Kangaroo in Australia and Orient Shield in Japan. The 25th Division's demanding exercise schedule significantly increased the division's fighting capabilities. Until 1993, Operation Team Spirit in Korea remained the division's largest annual maneuver exercise, involving more than half of the division's strength. Desert Storm and post-Cold War. The 35th Regiment units did not participate in Operation Desert Storm, due to the 25th Division being earmarked for Pacific contingencies, such as a renewal of hostilities in Korea. In 1995, the 25th Division underwent another reorganization and reduction as a part of the Army's downsizing, but most elements of the 35th Infantry were maintained. In early 2005, an airborne brigade was created at Fort Richardson, Alaska and added to the 25th. Today, Tropic Lightning Division is composed of the 1st and 2nd Striker Brigade combat teams, based in Fort Wainwright, Alaska and Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, respectively. The 3rd Infantry Brigade combat team, Schofield Barracks, and the 4th Airborne Brigade combat team, based at Fort Richardson, Alaska. In addition to the Combat Aviation Brigade as a major ground reserve force for the U.S. Pacific Command. The Tropic Lighting Division routinely deploys from Schofield Barracks to participate in exercises in Japan, Korea, Thailand, the Philippines, Australia and the Big Island of Hawaii. Transformation and War on Terror. The 35th Infantry and the 3rd Brigade did not take part in the fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq from 2001 to 2003. The 3rd Brigade, 25th Infantry Division began deploying in the divisional second stage to Afghanistan in March 2004. The 25th Infantry Division redeployed to Schofield Barracks, Hawaii in April 2005. One of the missions of the 3rd Brigade was to track down insurgent Taliban and Al-Qaeda members in the mountainous terrain of Afghanistan. In 2005, the 35th Infantry Regiment as a part of the 3rd Brigade began its transformation as a Brigade Combat Team (BCT). The light status was dropped from the 25th Division name in January 2006. As of March 2009, the 35th Infantry as a part of the 3rd Brigade deployed to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. In June-August 2009, the 25th Division was deployed in Operation Champion's Sword. From March 2011–March 2012, the 35th Infantry Regiment was deployed to RC East Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Honours. The regiment has received the following unit awards. Additional decorations of 1st Battalion. Company A additionally entitled to. Company B additionally entitled to. History. The 35th Infantry Regimental history dates from 1916. Constituted the 1st of July 1916 in the regular army as Company B. 35th Infantry. Organized the 13th of July 1916 at Douglas, Arizona. Constituted the 1st of July 1916 in the regular army as Company B. 35th Infantry. Organized the 13th of July 1916 at Douglas, Arizona. 35th Infantry assigned the 7th of August 1918 to the 18th Division. Relieved the 14th of February 1919 from assignment to the 18th Division. Assigned the 17th of October 1922 to the Hawaiian Division. Relieved the 1st of October 1941 from assignment to the Hawaiian Division and assigned to the 25th Infantry Division. Inactivated the 1st of February 1957 at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and relieved from assignment to the 25th Infantry Division. Concurrently redesignated as Headquarters and Headquarters Company. 2D Battle Group. 35th Infantry. Assigned the 19th of February 1962 to the 25th Infantry Division and activated at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Organic elements concurrently constituted and activated. Reorganized and redesignated the 12th of August 1963 as the 2D Battalion. 35th Infantry. Relieved the 1st of August 1967 from assignment to the 25th Infantry Division and assigned to the 4th Infantry Division. Relieved the 15th of December 1970 from assignment to the 4th Infantry Division and assigned to the 25th Infantry Division. Inactivated the 5th of June 1972 at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and relieved from assignment to the 25th Infantry Division. Assigned the 16th of August 1995 to the 25th Infantry Division and activated at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Campaign history. Campaign participation credits. World War II. Korean War. Vietnam. This article incorporates public domain material from websites or documents of the United States Army Center of Military History. 35th Infantry Regiment Association website. 25th Infantry Division homepage, official site. Global Security. Org. 2nd Battalion 35th Infantry. Global Security. Org. 25th Infantry Division. Light. 25th Infantry Division Association.